Hello, music fans and Nirvana lovers. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if Kurt Cobain, the grunge icon and frontman of Nirvana, were still alive today? How would his career, personal life, and impact on music and global culture evolve in the digital age? Kurt Cobain, who tragically passed away in 1994 at the age of 27, left an everlasting legacy. If Kurt Cobain were still alive in 2024, he would be 57 years old, having been born on February 20th, 1967. But let's take a moment to imagine, what could his life have been like if he had continued on this journey? If Kurt were still alive, it's likely he wouldn't be confined to the world of grunge. As a musician known for his exploration, he might have evolved toward more experimental music. After Nirvana, Kurt could have pursued a solo career or formed a new band with a more diverse sound, blending elements of electronic music or modern punk rock. He might have collaborated with artists from various genres, creating unexpected musical fusions, perhaps working with metal, indie, or even EDM musicians. Throughout his life, Cobain spoke out on social issues like feminism and injustice, and in 2024, with the power of social media, he might have become even more vocal in various social movements. With the digital platform so dominant, Kurt could have been a leading voice in the fight against social injustice, gender inequality, and environmental crises. He might have become a symbol of a generation demanding change, both through his music and direct activism. One of Kurt Cobain's greatest struggles was with his mental health. If he were still alive, he likely would have received better support. With public awareness of mental health now much greater than it was in the early 90s, Kurt might have spoken openly about his journey dealing with depression and addiction, becoming an inspiration for many people struggling with similar issues. Kurt's iconic style, flannel jackets, ripped jeans, and shabby clothes, became a symbol of the anti-establishment movement in the 90s. If Kurt were still around, he would likely remain an accidental trendsetter. He might collaborate with indie fashion brands or even release his own clothing line, reflecting his simple yet meaningful style. In an era where streetwear and casual fashion are increasingly popular, Kurt would likely continue to be a style icon remembered by new generations. If he had lived, it's likely that he would have developed an increasingly close relationship with his daughter, Frances Bean Cobain, over time. As Frances grew older and formed her identity without a father figure, Kurt might have become more involved in her life, taking on a more supportive and present role as a father. Kurt could have opened up about the profound impact Frances had on his life, speaking about how her presence gave him a new perspective and helped him balance the pressures of fame with the turbulence of his personal life. He might also have used his public platform to discuss his role as a father, offering deep insights into his struggle to maintain a balance between the intense world of music and family responsibilities, revealing a more personal side of the grunge icon that had rarely been seen before. If Kurt Cobain were still alive, the biggest impact might be felt by Dave Grohl. After Kurt's death, Grohl formed Foo Fighters as a solo project to channel his creativity, which had been largely suppressed during his time in Nirvana. However, if Cobain had continued to live and Nirvana had stayed together, Grohl might never have formed Foo Fighters. He would have remained Nirvana's drummer, but over time, Grohl might have been given more opportunities to contribute as a songwriter or vocalist in some of Nirvana's projects. Nirvana might have evolved into a more collaborative band, where Kurt, Chris Novoselic, and Grohl would all share more balanced roles in creating music. Grohl might also have collaborated with other musicians in side projects, but without the need to form his own band, Foo Fighters may never have existed in the form we know today. If Kurt Cobain were still alive and Nirvana remained active, it's likely that Chris Novoselic wouldn't have delved so deeply into politics and activism as he did after the band's breakup. His musical activities with Nirvana would have remained his primary focus, with his time consumed by touring, recording, and creative projects for the band. Without the tragic events that shifted his direction, Novoselic might not have felt the need to establish organizations like Fair Vote and engage in political reform. Instead, he would likely concentrate more on music and explore artistic side projects. If Cobain were still alive, he might have become a mentor to new generations of musicians. He might have produced albums for young artists, or even run an independent record label, offering artistic freedom to those who want to express themselves outside the boundaries of the mainstream music industry. Kurt could have played a major role in preserving the indie spirit amidst the dominance of major labels. With technological advancements and the transformation of the music industry, Kurt might have had a critical view of how music is consumed in the streaming era. However, he might also have seen opportunities in the freedom of distribution offered by platforms like Spotify or YouTube, where artists can release their work without interference from major labels. Kurt might also have explored other digital media to convey his messages, perhaps through visual projects or even documentaries. If Kurt Cobain were still alive in 2024, he would likely remain a significant figure, both in the music world and in culture at large. With a combination of continuously evolving musical exploration, commitment to social issues, and his role in advocating for mental health, Kurt would still be relevant and respected by multiple generations. While we can only imagine how his life might have unfolded, Cobain's legacy continues to symbolize creative freedom and rebellion against the status quo.